DBD is probably one of the most active communities ever, but it comes at the cost of being filled with people cheating, raging, and also unreliable devs. This experience is very common. One experience that I had is when I was playing Hillbilly into V8 with my friend. Right afterwards, we sacrificed this Ada, and she called her teammates garbage in endgame chat. So I did the most rational thing, and I told her to cool it, but she wouldn't. Instead, she got angry at me, and then looked at my profile to see I only had 280 hours on the game at that time. And then I looked at her profile, and she had 3K hours and was a comp player. She then had a breakdown saying that this game is killer-sided and that I actually suck at the game, but she had 3K hours and was a comp player. So I said, the most reasonable thing, if I suck at the game, then you suck. Then before she could say anything, the chat went offline, and I asked myself, why are people so toxic in this game? So I did a little bit of research. So let's begin. One reason why it's like this is that it's live service, so it's gonna be constantly trying to get balanced or something will change, but there's a difference. It's asymmetrical, so the sides are never gonna be even. There's also another problem. You're never forced to play the killer or the survivor. It's always your choice. Not like in R6 or like CS2 where you keep changing from counter or attacker to defender, so the game will just become an endless echo chamber. That's if you don't play both sides, which is a large majority of the community. So some people think it's killer-sided, some people might think it's survivor-sided, and I feel like the only best way I can explain this is with an analogy. Cars. Some people want you to drive a certain way, so they honk at you for not following their rules. Then they speed ahead just because they enjoy it, or they're self-righteous about it. Others cut you off not because they need to, but because they care more about their own experience than yours. Then there's people who drive really slowly in the fast lane, and when you try going around, they flip you off. That's DBD, where everyone's on the same road, but they all hate each other. So they won't agree about everything. Or be my dad, scare the passengers in the car. Then you'll see people just constantly screaming in endgame chat about how you shouldn't be playing this way, you should be playing that way. Oh, you're using surge or gen regression? Nope. Oh, you're using second chance perks? Go fuck yourself. One problem that popped up that won't fit this analogy, because I don't see people jumping out of their fucking cars, the go next epidemic. From the depths of entitlement and burnout comes people who try as fast as possible to leave the game, not by escaping, but by dying, essentially crippling the entire team. But why do people do it? From my experience, people are tired of seeing teammates who won't do anything but hide in lockers, or just avoid playing the game. What I see from other people's perspectives, or from their streams, it seems people don't like the killer or map that they're going against. Okay, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't know. Ruining an entire game just because you hate the killer you're going against is a dick move. But why don't they like playing against these killers? Let's look at Trickster. He's constantly throwing knives at you, and there's an add-on that makes it so that it ricochets you, and you can't really do anything about it if he just sees you, which seems total bullshit when you get hit by it. But he's still pretty weak. I think it just comes down to how little killers actually have to snowball, so they have to do scummy tactics like playing dirty, tunneling, slugging. Then many will rub it into the survivors' faces by going back and forth on them. But what causes them to be this toxic? Survivors being sore winners and rubbing into their faces by teabagging at exit gates. But why do they do that? Because of killers, so it's an endless cycle. So now people don't trust each other. Hell, this might not even be the entire reason, because many people find anything toxic. Flashlights, dead hard, gen regression, just slugging one person, gen rushing builds, and something forgotten. Maurice. Then there's builds that waste time and almost ruined an entire killer. Of course, I'm talking about Skull Merchant with the chess meta. What I mean by chess meta is that you pretty much checkmate every single gen in the area, where if they do anything, they lose. But then you need 3 gen for it, where you have to keep constantly kicking it so they don't make any progression. Then after an hour, or you hook everyone, the game ends. This was tested on some of the best players in the fucking world, and they lost. So then the devs nerfed them down to the point of being not even viable, while also limiting gen kicks to 3. But people are still DCing when they see her to this day. The killer is getting reworked right now, but the devs recommended not playing her in her state right now. The gen kicking meta already happened over a year ago, but she kept getting nerfed and nerfed every single fucking update to the point where she's no longer viable. So then the devs nerf every overpowered killer, right? No, unfortunately not. Let's talk about the nerfs. People DC at the sight of her because how overpowered she is. She can go through walls and hit you, and combined with toxicity, she can slug you for 4 minutes on the ground and then pretty much do nothing. Here's an example of what I'm literally saying. Instead of nerfing Nurse, they proceed to nerf every other killer by hitting their perks or their power, which doesn't affect her, but I should mention that she does take a bunch of skill to learn. Not from my experience though. And once you learn her, she is very easy to cheese every single match. Like hell, there's this person named Super Elf, and they had a win streak of 1,163 just as Nurse. I think one reason why they don't nerf her is because she was built around the time when this game was mostly based on hiding instead of running. And now they don't even know what to do with her. Because of this reputation, people don't even want to play against a good Nurse. Like, if they hear they're screaming, they will DC instantly. So all these problems, how do we fix them? I'd say we can't really fix it all, other than rework the overpowered killers and get rid of self-hooking, which they actually did in the middle of this video. It's going to be in the next PTV. But they also have to rework many perks and add-ons for both sides, and they're doing that? That's amazing. So all these problems are going to be fixed, right?
Are you sure?
Oh my god. Oh my god! This game is very buggy to the point of one update breaking the game. Since this game wasn't intended to last this long, and also spaghetti code, which will add on every single year, I'd say these updates have a 50-50 chance of breaking or fixing the game. Like, for some reason, they changed the rarity of colors for objects, and now Nemesis M1 was broken, so they had to kill switch him for a while. Since this game is complex with a bunch of issues, I asked a bunch of content creators of many kinds, survivors, killers, and see why they think the game is toxic.
Yes, very well, Mikey, what do you think causes people to be toxic? I guess anonymity. Anonymity is one of the ways. When you play a video game, a lot of times you forget that there's another person behind the screen. And since you're anonymous and there is no consequences for being, like, in real life, if you're a piece of shit or if you provoke someone, you can get, like, into a fight. You can get punched. In a video game, there's nothing that's going to happen to you. So I think anonymity gives a lot of reason to be toxic in, like, online games in general. And on the internet, like, a lot of people are nasty on the internet because, once again, it's anonymous.
Do you think makes people toxic in DBD? Belief that the other side shouldn't be trying to win the game. Like, it's a weird answer, but the more I think about it, it's more that I think that, like, a lot of problems just stem from people, like, not wanting this game to be a game. They only want it to be a game, like, sometimes. Where, like, you know, survivors get mad about tunneling, and it's just all over the place in terms of what that means. And it's like, it's more like that's an acceptable complaint, and what they really want is not to have died. And killers get mad that, like, gens pop too fast, and, like, people are taking protection hits and whatever. And it's like, all that is just kind of the same problem, like, the same thing, where it's like, well, yeah, of course, that's kind of what they're, like, supposed to do. They're supposed to work as a team. And it's just like, if you just went into the, if everyone went into the game with this mindset of, like, the other side is trying to win, and, like, that's okay, I think it would solve a lot of problems.
You know, competitive gaming is just gonna breed that kind of animosity when your name is at the bottom of a leaderboard, right?
Yeah.
It just depends on the person and how they react to it. Like, personally, I like, for me, I don't really care about the game, really, to the point where, like, if you sandbag me, I'll laugh at it and I don't really care, you know?
So for this one, I couldn't clip it for some reason, so I'm just gonna explain it to you. Asuno is a person who faced a lot of hate for playing Ghoul when it first came out. When I first talked to him, he mentioned us versus them and how people in game, especially competitive games, people will complain either way. DBD is reinforced by that because of Killer and Survivor fighting each other, which caused some sort of echo chamber. He used Apex Legends as an example because there's keyboard and mouse players who complain about controller players and how aimisses can be overpowered. One of the actual first points that he mentioned was that people will take it straight out of DBD to Twitter, and people would complain about it, then people would listen to it and then fight against it, and it just spiral on there because it's fucking Twitter. Honestly, he gave a really good example, and now because of that, I thought about the situation that happened because of Twitter. Very popular DBD YouTuber named Hens one time complained on Twitter that syringes were overpowered and how it should be nerfed at least a little bit instead of being 16 seconds where you instantly get healed to 1 minute. And people on Twitter had a lot of things to say. One person said this is such a killer side statement. Yes it is. Because it's from a fucking killer. And it's also against survivors. But not going to lie, it seems like he's going a little bit too far. But he has a point in my opinion. If you want to watch people talk about it more, watch Quiet Kills' video, where he explains it and looks over the comments to explain why he disagrees with them. So, final point. If we can't fix how the game is going to be, it's good to remember you can always change how you react to it. And how you hurt others because of it. I used to get angry at this game. I still do, but not anymore since my friends gave me a reality check. And also because I have finally upgraded to fiber Wi-Fi, which means I won't be disconnecting constantly. After this change, I just decided to stop taking the game that seriously anymore and just fuck around, do meme builds, do something completely different so it's just not repetitive so I don't go back in that cycle. So remember, it's always worth taking this game not so seriously and just laugh at people trying to hurt you. It's kind of funny when you realize a cannibal is leaving you on the floor and constantly nodding at you, implying it is bad to use your legs. But it is always good to remember that it's okay to rant about the game and take a break to play Civilization, of course. But then I remember two things in my life. 2 V8 game mode and depression. But I keep coming back for that sweet succulent blood points. This might be the first video in a long time where I actually talk about something that I enjoy in 8 months without trying to force myself too much to complete it. I still hyper focused a lot, but yeah. But I've been busy with mental health and also getting my certification for IT stuff and also other things happening.